Good evening, everyone, on this lovely Thursday night, November 16th. I am Miriam Stavetsky, and I will be one of your co-hostesses for this evening, along with my colleague and friend. Granted, I don't know where she is on your screen, so I'm just pointing to her on my screen, but the awesome Jacqui Moskowitz. And of course, we always love to give shout outs and gratitude, and especially appropriate for this week, thanks to our awesome coaches, Miriam Khan and Mary Didio, who, without whom many of us, or all of us, would not be on this call. So a huge thank you. Just a few housekeeping notes before we get started. A reminder that this is a video and audio call, so we can see you. You definitely want to be mindful of that. And we will mute everyone just to maintain the nice that we hear now, but we love participation, and we're going to let you know just when we want it. So we encourage you to unmute and definitely participate. That's one of the things that makes this call unique. It is not the only call that is offered by this awesome plan called Optavia. Optavia offers amazing phone calls throughout the week. Wednesday night for clients, there are 2 calls offered, 8 o'clock and 8:30 Eastern. So hopefully you catch those. And if you don't know how to get on, or you want to know how to find the recordings, ask your coach. But what makes this call unique is that it's kind of our smaller team, and it does give that opportunity for interaction. So we certainly welcome it. I am going to turn the evening over to Jacqui, who's going to tell you a little bit about what we'll be discussing this evening.
Hey everybody, I'm Jacqui. So next week and 1 week from today, most of us are going to be sitting down to a Thanksgiving dinner if you celebrate. For a lot of people, it's an exciting time with family and friends. So I'm just curious if you guys could throw into the chat what your plans are for this Thanksgiving, if you're celebrating, if you're hosting, if you're going to family or friends. We just like to see what everyone's doing for next week.
I'm throwing it into the chat right now. Okay, looks like we have some hosts. Melinda, of course, will be hosting. People will be with family. Ooh, some people have no plans. Family, ignoring. Family. Gosh, we have a whole sprinkling here. Lots of family. Pardon?
I said, I hope everyone likes their family. It could be a stressful time.
Seriously. So lots of people are going to be with family. What's fun is to see some of the folks on here who are writing family, and several of them are the family that the other one is mentioning. So that's kind of funny to look at. Bringing Thanksgiving dinner to Philadelphia. Look at you. So you're hosting and going. That's kind of all in one. That's amazing. Cheryl's already like ahead of the game, telling us how she's going to be bringing healthy to her Thanksgiving meal. So, and I see some people are extending the holiday and partying even early on Wednesday with their work. So looks like we've got quite a sprinkling here, Jacqui. Some folks are hosting, some are going elsewhere, some are bringing elsewhere, and some are just treating it like any other Thursday. So here's the question. Whether or not you're celebrating, whether or not you're hosting or joining, there's always a lesson to learn from any special event, because whether it's going to be Thanksgiving, or whether it's going to be Christmas, or whether it's Sabbath every weekend, right? Everyone has special events, or whether it's going to be your work holiday party or a vacation you're going to take, the strategies that we put in place for these special occasions are pretty universal. So here's the next question we're going to throw out to you. Okay, and here you can throw your answer into the chat, but listen to all the options, and you could throw an A, B, or C. What is your plan for Thanksgiving? Is it A, I'm going to rock my program. Thanksgiving or no Thanksgiving, I'm sticking to my plan. That's A. B is, I'm going to take the day off and enjoy Thanksgiving in the way that I always did before. And I'm going to, oh, you didn't hear all the choice? Patience, folks. Put your hands up. Everyone hands up. You don't even know what the third choice is. Okay, we're getting a lot of A's. For those watching the recording and you don't see the chat, blowing up with A's. Lots of people who plan to stick to their program regardless of the special occasion. So A is, I'm going to rock my program. Nothing's getting in my way. B is, I'm taking a day off and I'll be back to my plan on Friday. And C is I'm planning to stick to my plan, but I will indulge on one or two things at the meal. Okay, and that is something we're going to talk about tonight. Okay. Oh, look at that. Now we can have
Now we're getting some C's.
There's no shame in saying B, by the way. This is a safe place. Don't say any B's. There's no shame if you'd like to share that.
Thank God Thanksgiving is Thanksgiving is only one meal. It's not the whole weekend, as some people like to celebrate it. That's also something important to remember. Maybe stuffing. Francie already knows what she's going to indulge on.
Okay.
Oh, Melinda, we're going to have to talk this week. We need to come up with a plan. If you walk with anything from this call, it won't be whether it's A, B, or C, but it'll be that you've made a decision.
Oof. That's Jacqui. Let's just take a moment on that one. You know why, folks? Knowing is half the battle. I'll let that sink in. Okay, Jacqui. You want to knock them with your next question?
Now, I'd love to hear from you guys if you could unmute. Now that we know Thanksgiving is coming up and what your plans are, what do you think the biggest obstacle will be to stand in your way? Feel free to raise your hand or unmute. It could be. I'll throw in some examples just because they're silent. Even though, Alana, I see you raising your hand, I'll call on you in a minute. It could be, some people are embarrassed of their program when they're sitting at a table with family and they're nervous people will criticize them or judge them or not understand. Is it the stuffing that you only see one time a year? Maybe it's the alcohol that will be on the table or the cranberry sauce. Maybe it's standing in the kitchen all day and cooking and being surrounded, sitting at the table for hours, or maybe it's just sitting in front of the TV for hours on end watching football. So, Alana, unmute yourself.
Thank you, Jacqui. I was just going to say, I definitely have a plan in mind that I plan to stick to my program, but I'm just in the back of my mind, I have to remember that I have I'm hosting and I have a food pusher attending. So, my intentions are good. I have a plan, but I can't rule out the fact that there might be others there, that want to push me to.
Perhaps you should do table seating cards and put that person's seat across on the far end of the table from yours.
I love it. Okay, that's a great idea.
You're going to be pushing your own food on you?
What?
You're the hostess and they're going to push food on you?
Well, they're going to push as to the quantity that I am eating. Like it's not enough. It's a very elderly person. I don't want to out her. Okay, I'm going to out her. Okay, I love her.
Is she on this call?
I know. I love her, but she's my 96-year-old grandmother.
She could do whatever she wants. I'm sorry. You should listen to her.
You know what I'm saying. You can't think, I don't want to feel like I have to eat it because my grandmother told me I have to. I mean, I love my grandmother, but you know what I mean.
Awesome. Melinda, I think I saw you raising your hand.
So my biggest issue is tasting my food, which is something that I deal with a lot anyways, but on Thanksgiving, I'm hearing somebody's feedback.
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
Like radio, TV. Oh, somebody's voice message maybe, like in the background.
There we go. I think Miriam may have caught it because I didn't.
Okay, so my biggest issue is tasting my food because I'm serving it all and I want to make sure that it's really, really, I want to make sure it tastes good. And I always make new recipes for Thanksgiving. Like I'm supposed to be working on my menu tonight and it's right here. And it's like the whole page. So that's probably more of an issue for me even than being at Thanksgiving. Because when I host, I don't eat as much because I'm hosting. So
that's why Melinda, I don't know that everybody knows you on the line. Can you tell everybody what you do as one of your professions?
Sure. I am a food blogger and I test recipes and post on my website. And that is my other part of my profession. And so one of my favorite things on the planet is Thanksgiving. And I host a lot of people. And I have some food bloggers coming over. So I like to go all out and just create a million new recipes. And so it's just my favorite thing in the world. And I don't want to stop doing it. And again, when I'm hosting, then I'm busy and I could just take bites of the things that I need to. And I'll know exactly what I can stay on plan with. So really my issue isn't more about indulging during the meal. It's more about tasting And like sometimes your mind, and I don't know if anybody else experiences this, sometimes your mind, like you're on plan and you're so focused, 5 and 1, and then you're preparing food and it's like, oh, I got to taste this. It's like you almost lose track of where you are when you get so excited about something. So that's my worry.
That's awesome. And Melinda, I'm going to actually out you right now, and I'm not going to say anything that you haven't said publicly, so I hope it's okay. But for those of you on the line, again, who don't know Melinda, she is a food blogger with type 1 diabetes, and gosh darn it, she's a health coach rocking her program. So in case you thought that you had a good excuse, check her out. I'm pointing to where she is, but wherever she is on your screen, yeah. So just extra loud shout out to you tonight. Okay, what about anyone else? What obstacles are you anticipating? We have some in the chat. Jacqui, you want me to read these out loud?
Oh, I haven't seen them. Okay, I'll read them.
Go for it.
Social pressures from others. Our Thanksgiving begins with breakfast brunch. It's a long day of too much food. Oh, so it's not just the Thanksgiving meal, but it's the whole day leading up to it. Holidays in general are a trigger for me, not pressure from anyone else. Stress related to strained family relationships. I was waiting for someone to be honest about that.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Can I share, actually, on a flip side? I know this is a little off script. We didn't talk about this, but it came up, I think, on the past several Thanksgiving calls that I've attended, because this is probably my 4th Thanksgiving Zoom on this program, which is exciting. My 4th, my 3rd, I don't know. I'll look later. But for me, being around family on Thanksgiving is not stressful. It is supportive because, gosh darn it, my whole family's on plan. Or not my whole family, but my mother, my husband, me, and it definitely makes a big difference when you are surround yourselves. And I'm looking at this screen here with the Weisses, right? I don't know if you're all spending Thanksgiving together, but you have the similar advantage that I have. I'm looking at the cons. There's several family sets on this call where some of us are really blessed to spend the holidays with families who actually have like-minded goals. My mom jokes with everybody that she succeeds through the holidays because she has her health coach come over and cook for her. So you may want to think about that. For all the people whose obstacle is family, you may want to think about how to get them to join your community. It'll make the next holiday a little less stressful. That's not one of the tips Jacqui and I had prepared to present to you. It's coming from my heart.
Awesome. So we want to prepare everyone, and we came up with a list of tips that we had to prepare for this holiday. Now that you've all shared your struggles, we want to prepare you for success. So Miriam, why don't you start by explaining what's the 3-bite rule?
So the 3-bite rule comes from Dr. A, co-founder of this awesome program, Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson. I believe it's his anyway. That's where I saw it. It came to me through Dr. A. And he says that the real pleasure that you take in what you eat happens in those first 3 bites. After that, you've experienced the bliss. Melinda, you're a food professional. Would you agree with that? Maybe I shouldn't have asked you.
No, with the bliss part about that first enjoyment,
yeah.
I think sometimes you want to continue eating something because you enjoy it so much. But the first few bites are the most exciting for sure.
Sure. So I think it was Cheryl before who wrote about, oh no, it wasn't Cheryl. Somebody else wrote that she's going to have stuffing.
It was Cheryl. Oh, no, it was Francie that said she's going to have it. Cheryl said she's bringing the cauliflower rice stuffing.
Got it. So Cheryl's bringing healthy things with her, 2 things, and Francie's already anticipating that she might have the stuffing. So going in ahead of time and knowing what to expect on Thanksgiving, my mother makes stuffing, and we have it but once a year. I'm going to make a decision before Thanksgiving. Cranberry sauce does not do it for me. Whatever sweet potato pie is coming, nah. But stuffing, golly, I love it. So I'm going to make a decision before I go in, because stuffing is not something I would typically have. I not at all. I'm going to make a decision before Thanksgiving. Am I going to have stuffing? And if I choose yes, I'm going to take 3 bites of it, which is, I don't know, a little more than a tablespoon, depending on how big a bite you take. Go in, stick with my plan, and move on.
Awesome. Another thing that, we've been talking about a lot tonight is just making the decision, what do you want to feel like when you wake up Friday morning and you're going Black Friday shopping and trying on all that clothing? How do you want to feel? Do you want to indulge the night before? Do you want to stick to your plan like we discussed before? Or, do you want to treat yourself and let yourself go for one day? And whatever you decide, it just feels so good to not feel guilty about it. It's like, I'm going in, this is what I'm doing, and I have no guilt, and whatever happens, tomorrow I'm going right back on plan. So that's really, the key to make a decision, Melinda, in advance. So you don't just show up there without a plan and then something happens and you cave and then the next day you wake up feeling sorry about it. Just feel confident with your decision.
Awesome. Jacqui, I'm sitting here looking at our list, but I'm also looking at all these faces, and I am willing to bet, okay, we've crossed off 2 off of our list. I'm willing to bet that if we open the lines right now, we would probably cross off at least 50% of our list from some of the ideas from folks on the line. So if anybody wants to unmute and share a tip that you have to help people succeed through the holidays, go for it. Let's see if I'm right. Come on, guys.
I'll tell you my
You're making
favorite.
me look bad. Who's that?
I said, it's Cindy. I said, I'll tell you my favorite.
Yeah, let's hear it, Cindy.
Find some kids to play with who are quick to get away from the table. The kids don't sit very long. They get up and they want to play.
Love it. Get yourself away. Keep yourself busy away from the table. Once you're done eating, that is, I suppose. I love it. Thank you, Cindy. Who else wants to share a tip? Alana, go for it.
I would say make sure all of this stuff is out of your house. If you're hosting, have someone else take it all home.
You got one!
Yes. You could even add to your shopping list before Thanksgiving really cute little to-go containers. And, that way you have nice little containers to send people off with, doggy bags.
That was on the call last night.
And if people refuse to take it, dump it in the trash, because it's better to go to waste than to your waste.
True story, unfortunately. Or perhaps places where you can donate lots of leftovers. I know the place that I would typically donate to wouldn't take home-cooked foods, but maybe you have people in need that you could donate to, because, golly. Although if you're Cheryl and you're preparing plan-approved delicious Thanksgiving options, you can put your leftovers away, and heck, you've got a whole weekend ahead of you. Just as a sidebar, I like to put my food away in individual portions. If I'm freezing it or I'm putting it in the fridge, I buy little tins that are you can't see what size, but that size, and I freeze things in individual portions. It makes it so convenient when you're pulling out leftovers and you want to pull out for 5 people and you pull out 5 portions, or you want to pull out for 1 person and you pull out 1 portion. So that's a hot tip. Who else
My
has
sitting
that?
at the table tip. My sitting at the table tip.
She got one.
I even brought like a real glass, because normally I do this thing, but
Okay, you brought props.
2 hands on the water cup.
2 hands on the water glass when you're sitting and you're done eating, and it signals to you and your mind that I don't really want to have anything else. And it could be your teacup, it could be your water glass, but it can be your magic at a buffet. It can be your magic anywhere you go. So cheers.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's have Rosanna and then Mark.
That was right along the lines of what I was going to say. Like during dessert, a lot of times at my family dinners, we have dinner and then there's a break and then there's a big round of desserts. And oftentimes people are walking around with it literally in their hands. And my suggestion to people was to walk around with like water or hot tea or hot coffee, both hands on it. That way you're not tempted to be picking up cookies or picking up little bites of things and grazing on anything. Keep yourself busy.
Awesome.
Thank you. Mark, where'd you go? Go for it.
I'm here. Here I am. Have a fueling before you go. Never go hungry.
Okay? Yeah, you got one.
So when you get there, at least you make good decisions. You've got time to stop, challenge, and choose. You make good decisions, and that way you'll stay with your program. Another thought is to call the hostess if you're not the hostess before you're going, and find out exactly what she's serving so you can plan ahead and know what you can eat and what you can't eat. So, and if you can't eat something, and if there's something that you like, maybe you even offer to bring something. So those are some things I think that can be very helpful.
You got 2 right there.
Mark's on a roll. You know, this is a really wonderful holiday where you could pretty much bet that you are going to have a lean at that meal. A really good lean option. Can you guess what it is? Oh, it's turkey. So if you're going to offer to bring something, offer to bring a veggie side dish. You know you'll have your lean, and now you know you'll have your green.
And just to piggyback, you know, if you don't feel comfortable calling in advance to ask what's on the menu, at least wait till all the food is out on the table so you can make a choice, because sometimes, you know, if you want to indulge on 1 or 2 things and then something better comes out, you know, so wait till everything is out and then assess the situation.
Anyone on the line? I see your hand up, Melinda, but just 1 sec. Anyone on the line? No, because I can't imagine you're necessarily bringing your measuring cups and your food scale to your Thanksgiving meal with you. So do you know how to eyeball your plate and figure out how to fill it for a healthy meal? Jackie, I see your hand up.
Oh, Hannah raised her hand. Honey raised her hand.
Where? I don't see, so unmute yourself.
I see.
Okay, usually people serve a salad plate and a dinner plate, so I use my salad plate as my dinner plate, and so I use my smaller plate to fill that up. I also wait. I sit at the end of the table, and when the meal is over and we're starting to graze and talk, I offer to help clean up. So I'm in the kitchen cleaning up while everyone else is putting away the food, so I'm not tempted to eat or anything like that. And when they're doing dessert, I'm drinking my tea.
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Back to the plate, just a little hot tip, right? Honey's using her salad plate, which is cool because it's even smaller, but you can fill your plate for a healthy meal. Take 1/4 for your protein, for your lean. Take 1/2 for your green, and save that last quarter for when you hit your goal and you reintroduce back the starches. Okay, so you have a little spot kind of to look forward to over there. And in the meantime, 1/4 of your lean, 1/2 your green, and that last quarter will be filled up in, your first week of transition. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to dedicate this last tip to Leslie, who's on the line, who dedicating this tip to her. Oh, look, she's here. She must have heard me say her name. Leslie, can you guess if I'm dedicating this last tip to you, what it might be?
Make a commitment.
Well, that is a good idea, but it's more specific to you, Leslie. This could go on for a while.
Living
I'm
it
just
out
going to
loud?
say what it is. Yes!
Okay.
Look at that. Can you say it again?
Living it out loud.
And what do you mean by
living
that?
what you're doing out loud, sharing it with others so that they can support you.
Right? I mean, if you're going in there with a plan, but if you announce that plan to even one person at the table, listen, here's my plan for tonight. Well, now you've got to stick to it. Now someone else knows about it. So some of us live our plans really loudly, right, to the world. But some of you might live it out loud just to your coach, but it will really help if you live it out loud to even one person at that table. It holds you super accountable. Does anyone feel like there are any tips that we didn't hit that you want to share with the crew? Okay. Well, Melinda, was that you?
Yeah.
Oh, go for it,
Yeah,
Melinda.
I can't help myself. I love to serve buffet. I mean, this is for anybody who's hosting.
Oh, genius.
To serve buffet because then the food's not on the table. And when the food's on the table, what do? First of all, you're staring at it. So even if you know your plan, it's still staring right in front of you, but there's no picking. If you tell yourself you're not going back for seconds and you make your plate, you're done. And the food's not staring in front of you, it's in the other room at the buffet, then that's it. There's less of a temptation there. And I tell you, other people who aren't on plan, they appreciate it as well. Because even people who aren't on plan, who are just, they feel so stuffed, they just want to take their plate and not have it to stare them in the face. That's my little extra tip.
It's embarrassing to get up 3 or 4 times. I used to do it.
You got over it.
Just to piggyback, yeah. I was like, no, I would tell Aaron when my husband, when he was getting up, I'm like, can you just put a little bit more? Because I didn't want to get up so many times. But I just said about, Tammy, I see you raised your hand.
I don't really have any tips. It's just something to consider.
And then I'll think about it because I just want, Tammy, you can unmute.
Oh. Hello?
Aaron? Hi.
I'm so relieved. I assumed it was me freezing, but it's her. This is
It's
so
me?
exciting. Finally, not me. Go for it, Tammy. Unmute yourself.
Okay. So it's not really a tip. It's just something that you need to keep in mind when you're making your decision about whether you're sticking on plan, whether you're having a whole day or just indulging a little, is you have to know yourself. Are you capable of doing that and then going back? Some people, like myself, have a very hard time going off plan and then getting back to it. I know myself. I take that bite. It's not so easy to get back. You have to really know yourself. Can you do that, or will that lead you down a path of weeks and weeks of cheating on and off? I've been there, unfortunately. So
You're not there now. Tammy's about to hit her 50-pound goal.
yeah.
So everyone give her a silent round of applause if you're not needed.
Tammy, you're getting lots of props in the chat too, because that was an amazing point that seems to have really resonated with so many people on the line. We're gonna leave you with this exercise.
Can I say something?
Oh,
I'm faceless. It's Debbie. I don't know why my Kindle is not picking up. It's saying that a different app is using my video, so it's not letting my face be seen. But I'm here.
okay, go for it, Debbie.
You look confused. Okay. No, just to piggyback on what Tammy was saying.
Debbie, my neighbor?
No, it's Debbie. Firestone.
No, Debbie Firestone.
Oh, Debbie! So glad you
Hello.
Okay, ladies. Bring
I'm
it
hiding
back.
behind the little gray thing. Just to piggyback on what Tammy was saying, something that I learned from Jacqui is that for people who really feel like they just can't have that level of control, don't eat at all at the meal. Have your lean and green earlier in the day and have a fueling right before the meal and hold on to your water and say you're not hungry. Maybe it's a little socially awkward, but if you really feel like you cannot, follow the plan when there's so much temptation around, and I get it, I've been there, I'm sure we've all been there, then just don't eat at the meal at all. The end.
Love it. Goes back
Another
to knowing
tip
yourself.
I just want to add before, Miriam, you jump in is find out what time you're eating your meal, whether it's 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or 3 o'clock, and write a schedule down from when you wake up and plan out your daily fuelings for the rest of the day. You want to make so, like Mark said, you want to not go in hungry, so just backtrack from that point, just so your meals are spaced out. Am I frozen?
You're not. I think everybody's just letting that awesome piece of advice sink in and possibly getting distracted by Melinda and Justin. I'm just throwing it out there. Anyhow, well, folks, I'm going to leave you with this little exercise. Do it at your leisure, some point before Thanksgiving. I challenge you to take out a pen and a paper and write a list of 5 things that you are thankful for since you started this journey. And then, what do you think I'm going to suggest you do next?
Send it to your health coach.
Oh, it's the best when you get those pictures and folks have done the work, and then it inspires you to do the work, and then we send our list back, and it's just so nice, this reciprocal mentorship. So make your list of 5 reasons you are thankful, 5 things you're thankful for. Since look, Melinda's already gotten started on hers.
She's just going
things
to post
you're
it
thankful
to
for.
it. She's not actually doing it.
5 things you're thankful for since you started this journey, and send a picture to your health coach. So now I know I'm going to do it, because I know when Melinda does her list, she's going to send it on over to Jacqui and me, and now we're going to end up doing it and sending it back to her, and it's such a nice little domino effect. So with that, we're going to wish you an amazing night. I am going out on a limb, even though we haven't discussed it yet among the coaches, but we will not be having Zoom next Thursday. Okay, Miriam is saying yes, yes. So if we don't speak to you, have an amazing holiday. Remember, it's a day of gratitude, a day of family, and hopefully a day of health for you all. Coaches, you know where to be next.
Thanks everyone for participating tonight and giving your tips. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.